Assalamu alaikum. Abariako. Kamo Talibu. Ni hao. What's up, bro? This is Musa. Matt Meacham Jr. Signing in on Earth. Well, I have been going through some serious issues. I have been having some serious issues these days. Boy, I'm trying to figure it out. Usually, I could just get on my computer, write my book, send it to the publisher, and boom, they tell me they're gonna publish it. Something's going on, I don't know. So the thing is, what I wanted to do, I wanted to hurry up and jump on my Alien Alienation. But what's happened is I wanted to publish my book on short stories because I got some really interesting stories that I want to tell. And the thing is, you guys in Kenya, I got a short story about Kenya. So yeah, you guys in Kenya, as soon as I get that, my short story book published, I'll let you know. The thing is, I'm just having problems with trying to complete this book. I wanted to do I wanted to get this out the way so I can get onto my Alien Alienation and my E equal MC square rock and roll. I want to get this. I want to get all this stuff out. Writing stuff out the way. I want to get down on my film script and my children's play because I know I'm holding on to something hot, very hot. So what I'm going to do, I want to hurry up. I don't know, it's like it's going to take another week. I thought I wanted to put my book out on my short story book. I wanted to get it, publish that book, and then move on my film scripts. And then that way, I would be able to start making my move on those two projects. Listen, guys, I'm sorry. I've seen your comments. I have seen your comments. I answered 2 questions. But the thing is, you know how things are. You don't know how things are, because if you knew how things were, then you wouldn't ask certain questions. I'm getting questions, I'm getting comments from, I was surprised that I had viewers in US. I thought most of my viewers were somewhere else. I get viewers from Russia. Yes. And I'm gonna keep on advertising to the Russians. There's a guy, now let's pray for this man. We got a young man in West Africa. He's bad. Now what he's doing is, he is taking over his country. Everyone, if you've been keeping up with Africa, you know who I'm talking about. There's a young man, healthy guy. I guess if he was in the U.S., he'd be a football player, but I think he's the prime minister of this West African country. I would suggest that you check him out yourself. This guy he has so much power that the people in Kenya, an East African country, are putting his pictures on, like his portraits on their buses. Now what they're supposed to do is put the pictures of their president on the buses, but they put the pictures of this guy in West Africa. Now, we're going to have to pray for him. You know, what has happened is he's kicked out all the colonialist armies. You know, Africa is still under colonial rule. You know, how can you say you're free when another country has its army base on your property? How can you say you're free? And most African countries have foreign armies. Excuse me. Excuse me. They have foreign armies on their property. And so what this guy has done, he has said, look, you guys got to go. You can't stay. You can't be. I can't be my own man with you here. So you guys got to go. But my friend, this African leader in West Africa. Now I know Putin. I've been keeping up with you. I know Putin said that it will be over his dead body. It would be over his dead body for anyone to harm this young man. But my friend, don't you depend on Putin. Don't you depend on Putin. I know, I can understand what's going on here. You got to kick these armies off of your land. You know, most of Africa is still colonized. You know, most of African countries still have foreign armies on their private properties. And this young man is he's kicked out the French. And as I understand it, he's paid all their bills. In other words, he's trying to make his people not be beggars. And so, I watch him very closely. He's walking on a tightrope. He is the poorest. Listen to this. He's African. He is the poorest. He's the poorest leader on the earth. He doesn't ride down in Mercedes Benzes or the big cars and get big castles. He's a good man. I think he doesn't even take a salary. An African young man. He's not an old man. He's a young man. Now, if Africa had all Africa needs is 100 young men like that young man. And then Africa would be free. Africa would not have to be colonialized. I'm saying, okay, so you kick the French out and you bring the Russians in. What the Russians doing there? So the Russians gonna be on your land. So if you're gonna let the Russians on your land, you should say to Russia, let me put some of my military people in Russia. You get a base in Russia. Otherwise, this is you still weak. You say you kick out the French, you bring in the Russians. The Russians. This guy in Syria, there was the guy who was running Syria. He was supposed to be a Russian ally. I think Iran is supposed to be the Russian ally. So, my friend, you guys who said let's kick out the West and bring in Russia, or let's kick out the West and bring in China. Hey, you're bringing in another type of colonialism. Unless you can have military bases in China, unless you can have military bases in Russia, unless you can have military bases in U.S. That equalizes it. We're in a new age. And the thing is, I get a lot of questions. I'm sorry, I don't answer comments. I don't answer comments. When you see me, that's what you get. And I say to you, buy my books. I mean, what kind of conversation can we have? Buy my books. And the questions that I look at people from Russia, yes, people from US, brothers, Assalamu alaikum. I had one of my viewers asked me a question. I had two. I'm not going to answer either questions. I had one question from a young lady, and then I had another question from a young man. No, I will not answer questions. Buy my books, and you figure it out for yourself. Buy my books. My books will reveal whatever you need to know about me. Buy my books. I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, USA. I attended Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts. I have a Bachelor's of Arts degree in drama and philosophy. In my younger days, yes, I was a member of the Black Panther Party. Yes, in my younger days. But I'm not a member of the Black Panther Party now. Yes. No, I'm not going to answer the other question you asked me. Buy my books. Read my books. It tells you, I live in Africa. I don't say what, I see, these guys, they sort of messed up. They still see each other different. I live in Africa. I live in Africa. I'm an African American. I live in Africa. I have lived in 4 different countries in Africa. My first time coming to Africa was when I was a student at Tufts University. I studied at the University of Ibadan in Ibadan, Nigeria, when I was a young man. I studied at Ibadan University. I spent a lot of time in Kenya. I attended Kenyatta University. I lectured at Kenyatta University in Nairobi, Kenya. I studied there also. Well, let's see what else. Well, those other two countries that I've actually, studied in. But there are 2 other countries that I have lived in. So I've lived in Africa, I guess, in Africa, I say Africa. Some people say, oh, I'm this. They say, whatever country they come from, which the colonialists gave to them, I'm just in Africa, brother. I'm like the guys in the U.S. Oh, Africa. They figure Africa is just Africa. Africa is more than Africa, but I will assume that position. So the questions that I get and comments, well, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but as much emotion and as much as I put out on the internet, I think that's all you need to know about me. Read my books, buy my books. I will be giving a class in book writing. I can share my knowledge with you. So what I would suggest, follow me. And the thing is, where I'm from does not determine where I'm going or where I'm at. So the thing is, right now I'm in a dilemma. What's happening is, I've never struggled like this ever before in trying to write a book. My book that I'm working on now is called Short Stories by Musa Meacham Jr. I'm trying to figure out, why is it so difficult for me to get my program down? I'm trying to figure out, has my computer has someone co-opted my computer? I'm saying, what's going on? I'm working. See, when I write my books, I use all types of illustrations. I do more than just write the book. I put beautiful, colorful. Go and open my most recent books and see how gorgeous. My books are gorgeous. So what it is, I have come up with a new technique in writing. And I'm going to tell you about my new technique. But at this very moment, I am struggling I am struggling through a book. I'm saying, what is going on here? It's a long story, but what I wanted to do was, I wanted to go on and publish my book of short stories, because I really think I got some real good short stories in that book. And now I'm getting ready to move on my love, dramatics and theater arts. I'm working on 2 major projects right now. Alien Alienation and E=MC² Rock and Roll. A children's play and a film production. I think it's about time that people start putting money in my pocket. Yes. Next month, I'll be 75 years old. I've been writing books for 50 years of my life. 50 years of my life, I have been writing books. And it just seems to me it is about time for somebody to put some money in my pocket. My goodness. It's about time, and what I'm doing now is doing some very serious soul searching, and I'm doing some very serious work. My Alien Alienation, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Is it my alien alienation? That's these things that's coming up. I'm saying, wait, like I say, I'm having difficulties trying to get my short story book. I'm trying to write it, and every time I start on it, I see another issue that I have to deal with, and I'm saying this never happened. Usually, I can just start writing, do the book, boom, get it published. But right now, I'm struggling through that book. I want to get that book out the way because I want to move on Alien Alienation. Follow me. Now, you guys who comment, I've looked at my comments, the questions that you've asked. Look, when I finish my Alien Alienation, when I finish that book and get it published, when I talk about that book, I'll leave my email address. I'll leave my email address where you can reach me. And if you want to help me on this project, email me. I think it's going to be pretty big. I think the thing is, I'm just looking at the reactions that I get when I play around with the idea, Alien Alienation. I get comments from China. I get comments from Russia. I get comments. I can't read the Chinese. I can't read the Russian. I get comments from people in different parts of the world. I'm saying, now there was a brother who asked me something, and if you were the brother, you figure it out. You want to know if I am this or if I am that. Okay, get involved with me. Get involved with me. When I start dealing with Alien Alienation, you'll have my email address. And if you want to get involved with me, email me. And let's talk that way. Let's talk business. Let's talk business. Now, my Alien Alienation, it's guys in the U.S. who got $1 million. You look at all them football players, basketball players. You know all them. There's a lot of guys who could say, look, why don't we help the brother out? Say, hey brother, here's your $1 million. Let me have it. I'm giving you that opportunity. Whoever would take this opportunity which I have to offer. All the millionaires, all you rich basketball players, and football players, and boxers. Why don't you just put up the money? and take it over. Take over. Okay, what I'm going to do, as soon as I get my book published, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. And all you have to do, now I have to be very cautious in how I deliver this to you because it's over the air. All you have to do is email me and we can sit down and talk. We can sit down and talk. I don't care if you make $100 trillion. I don't care if you make 220,000 million dollars. All I'm saying is, come on, brother. $1 million. That's all it is. It's out. And you can go with it. You can take it to Mars. So I'm going to get this thing together. And I'm saying, I don't care if you're from Timbuktu. I'm a globalist. I have nothing against the Russians personally. In fact, when I used to live in the U.S., every time, I drove taxi in Hollywood, Las Vegas, and Boston. Every time I needed to get me a cab, I had to talk to a Russian. I have no problems with Russians. If you see something in what is getting ready to happen with Alien Alienation, if you see something, just email me. Only $1 million American dollars. I'm saying this to anyone. I learned two things from Chinese. I learned two things. I got nothing against Chinese people. Two things Chinese men taught me. One, martial arts. A Chinaman taught me martial arts. Two, computers. It was a Chinaman, a Chinese guy, taught me things about computers. So I got no issues with nobody particular. But I'm saying, brothers, I'll put my email on, I'll put my email up. I'll talk about this alien alienation. And if you want to run with it, just be fair. I don't care if you make $100 trillion off. Somebody's going to make $100 trillion off of it. I'm only asking for $1 million. Chump change. You professional guys out there, football players, basketball players, whatever. So that's all I have to say today. Now, the thing is, I'm going to get back into scholarly stuff as soon as I get my 2 books published. As soon as I get my short story book published and my Alien Alienation book published, then we can talk scholarly stuff. But I'll keep my email on the internet. And if you want to get down, let me know. Let me know. This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr., signing out. I'm still on Earth.